Welcome. This is episode 4 of Firmament Academy, a streaming rainbow actual play using Girl by Moonlight. Thanks for being here. Check the description below for content warnings. I am Seraphina Smith, and these 4 wonderful people are my players. Blackwell playing Harken, Danny playing Dmitrii, Natasha playing Lobi, and Ran playing Perdita. That's all. I'm always going alphabetical, if anyone was ever wondering. But anyway, we're going to start today not with our players, but with a young man, an academy student, a promising child of 2 academy patrons, heroes in their own right. In a montage, we watch him facing new challenges at the academy, meeting them, and not overcoming them. Time and again, we see him barely scraping by. Perhaps it's a lack of aptitude, perhaps it's a lack of attention, but it's not a lack of focus, as we see him retreating to his tower to work on a project in seclusion. His only deviation from focus, the occasional encouraging visit from a professor we recognize as Leontes, and the occasional angry argument with a red and black woodpecker, his Malek. It's during one of these arguments that we take a peek at the young man's notes. They're full of alchemical symbols, complex mathematics, secret codes, but the intent is clear. It is nothing more and nothing less than the creation of a new person, starting with the simple longing for one. The montage continues, full now of long, obsessive sessions of work, punctuated by angry, despairing rants. The woodpecker stops visiting, while Leontes' visits become more frequent. And finally, after one particularly long talk is done, the student is sitting at his desk, deep in thought, when his eyes light up. We see him snatch his notebook up and begin carefully diagramming. His smile of victory grows with every scratch of pen to paper, and later that night, we see his tower from the outside. All at once, flashes of light in all the colors you can imagine and a few you can't begin to shine through the windows. It almost hurts to look at. We see students gathering outside, covering their eyes, but unable to look away from the spectacle. And then it's hours later. The lights have gone. The young man's parents arrive and open the doors, accompanied by the dean. They climb the tower, but their son is gone. No trace of him, nor his papers remain. His Malek is nowhere to be found. Only in the main room of the tower, softly glowing, a strange humanoid person, their features too smooth and symmetrical to be human. Hello, they say. I'm a living wish. The mother looks horrified. The father nearly faints. The dean makes an entry in his logbook. And now we return to the present. The student council has returned from the edge of the firmament and are back at the academy. And since we left on entry, we'll come back to entry first as we move to the obligation phase of our game. Danny, where is entry right now? And what are they doing?
Dmitrii is on an espionage mission of a sort around our headquarters. There are 3 discrete packages that have found their way into the rooms of the other 3 folks in this place. And it isn't clear to the casual observer how those packages may have gotten there. Dmitrii, for their part, is separate from anything related to that, working on an expansion to their area where they study to make more room for the others to do whatever work they see fit as well. And I would love for that to be a precursor, potentially, to mechanically during downtime working on a library. But that is what Entry is doing. Espionage and library maintenance.
Delightful. All right, give me your obligation roll for this episode and describe your obligation for us.
Perfect. That's a 6.
No stress for you.
So Entry is still confused off of the conversations that left Entry confused before. Entry is the sort of person, if they are a person, they're more confused about that than before, who perseverates. And their current perseveration is on the question of whether or not wanting is feeling. And in order to try to help them focus on that, they're doing something else, a bit how some students, not like Entry, but perhaps like those of us at this table, certainly like myself in real life, um, would pay better attention to what they were thinking about or trying to learn while doodling in class. You know, their form of doodling in this case is in incredibly rapid succession, doing an absolutely inhuman amount of work to expand out this library as fully as possible. And that is the obligation that they feel connected to in this moment as most pressing. Empowering themselves to do this for their own betterment, but also thinking that, practically speaking, especially if they were to disappear, either because they needed to be extinguished because they were too much of a threat, or something else were to occur that would cause them to disappear, that the others would need some way to use this space. So they're expanding it with that in mind.
Wonderful. We'll pull away then from Entry and move to, let's see, Lobi. Where is Lobi and what is she doing?
I think after last episode, funny enough, kind of switching viewpoints, Lobi's actually diving into an investigation, trying to figure out anything about this Dr. Leontes, who she did not like, who she is very suspicious of, and is so sure he's not a professor. He's breaking some kind of rule in this regard and just wants to figure out what's going on with him. How do we make him not our problem anymore uh, in the easiest way possible?
Wonderful.
So I think she's doing some gossiping around the school and trying to investigate with bringing cookies and things like that to the teacher's lounge and whatnot to try and butter people up.
All right. Okay, let's do your obligation roll.
Oh, my little 2 disadvantage. That is a 2.
2. All right. 4 stress for you, or are you one of those people that takes less stress?
No, only when I'm resisting consequences, and only when I'm transcendent.
I can't keep up with all the new stuff that you guys are adding. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So that's some stressful obligation. What's that look like?
I think it does. While the last few days have been beautiful, have been wonderful for her to see, seeing Perdita and Fuguea reunite, being able to have this breakthrough moment with Entry. I think she's still put off by some of the stuff that Dr. Leontes said. I think she's feeling this weird pressure that the whole talk about if this world is a dream, what does the stuff that her and her friends been through matter? You know, like what this has to be real because it means so much to her. And I think it just been kind of going through her mind over and over again.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah. All right. Then we'll move away from Lobi and go to Harken. Where is Harken and what is he doing?
I wonder, did Harken learn anything that had happened last time? Or is he just out of the loop completely?
I think the most obvious one for sure would be Perdita and Fuguea
Mm-hmm.
coming back together.
Mm-hmm.
And we probably would have mentioned going out towards the edge of the firmament, about the wall that we saw, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the plot stuff probably. I think the
Yeah.
interpersonal stuff may be
Yeah.
harder to pick up, though I don't think that it would be any trouble for Harken to pick up that Entry is behaving strangely.
And I think that's the thing. After everything that has happened, I feel like he would be assisting Entry in the like building the library and doing research in a way, as in apologizing, but being weird, like kind of being weird about it. Like, how do you apologize to someone that you, one, tried to punch earlier, and two, is now acting a bit odd, and three, went to the edge of the universe essentially, and it's just like, yeah, so here's these things. Okay, all right. And this is supposed to be your friend. I think that's what he's doing right now, helping build the library and just playing that game of, are you mad at me? But I don't know how to ask.
We all know that game.
And let's see where this goes.
All right.
Okay. I got a 5.
All right. One stress for you.
I think it's he's not making it obvious. It's more so just asking Entry, like, what do you need right now? Like, what can I do to assist you? He's not giving off that same like explosive amount of emotions that he usually does, because he's just trying to keep it all in and just be like, what can I do to be of service right now?
All right. And finally, we will go to Perdita. Mm-hmm. Where is she and what is she doing?
I think she has returned to her duty at the radio station after a brief hiatus. They, in fact, the two of them now will do the recording together for the very first time, actually. So it would be the voices would be in harmony as they sing together and speak together and they talk about how hope is the thing with feathers, student body. We have encountered a lot of things that untethers us from this reality, but the only thing that is real is our love for each other, is our tether for each other. No matter how unbelievable everything that's happening around us might seem to be, as long as we have hope, we are bound to this reality. No matter what you believe or what you cannot believe, I am here with you. We are here with you. Fears become wishes. I hope that you hear this and stop giving powers to all of your visions. They cannot stay. Give them away. They're all in your mind. Leave them behind. Words become wishes. I hope that you hear this and stop saying vicious things about your own being. Take yourself home. Be there alone. Sit by yourself. No telephone, all I hope you find wisdom in all of your wanderings. I hope you find now and lose your longing for other time. Future or behind, we only live now. Inside of mine, and I hope you find blessings in all of your losses and stop hearing burdens of earthly crosses. We're all visitors here, travelers, my dear, all built by scars from other stars. We'll kind of just go into this performance afterwards. And I have to roll star now, actually, because my other things got upgraded. Can I push myself for obligation roll, or is it no? This is just one die.
I think it's only action rolls.
That's a 4.
All right. right, 2 stress. What does that look like?
I think there is just this shakiness in both of their voices. There is a newness. It is excitement and fear. It is trying to balance each other, trying to step gently but reach out and hold on tightly, but fearing that they might crush each other's trust still. It's going to take time, but it's the first step. And therefore stressful.
It's stressful indeed. All right. Thank you all. From there, we fast forward to where will we go? Later on in the clock tower, the headquarters with all of you. The flowers in the vases are wilting a bit. The attendant that usually refreshes them has been out sick. But otherwise, it is as pristine and lavish as always. Ansival is pacing around the room, his tail at full fluff in agitation. As he is about to make another lap around the larger sofa, he stops, facing the entrance to the main hall. His face does the most surprised look you've ever seen on a cat's face. And he says, "Hello?" Because standing there in the hall, its colors brilliant against the white marble, is a woodpecker. It stands there, unresponding, then pecks twice. All of you see this. What do you do?
Does Entry feel any kind of way? Notice anything? Is there anything familiar to Entry about the site, or does Entry not realize anything about it at all?
No, nothing.
Entry just continues to work.
I feel like Harken would be the one to go up to it and be like, "Oh, is this a friend of yours? Hey, little fella!" Like full on. It's a cute bird. It's an animal. Wants to interact with it.
You approach it. It pecks 3 times. And Ansival is approaching it and sniffing at it. And it's just standing there, apparently unafraid of the big, giant cat.
Ansival, do you know this bird?
I don't. You know, it's difficult to say. I thought at first it was a Malik, but doesn't feel quite like one. The bird pecks 5 times.
Can we sense things like magical entities, beings like that? Or anything that would have a magical signature?
Usually with a Malik or a magical item, there is a feeling to it. There is not a feeling to this one. It pecks 7 times.
Three, 7.
3, 5, 7. All odd numbers.
Prime numbers. But they're more than that. Does it continue to peck more, or does it just stop after that?
No, it will continue to peck. It pecks 11 times.
Okay, so it jumped. I wonder, would Harken know? Is this like code? Like in a way?
How good is Harken at maths?
I would say he's pretty decent. Like he's not his strong subject, but it's like he gets B's.
With the B in
Like
math,
a B
you
minus.
with a B minus, then by 11 you might recognize that this bird is pecking out the prime numbers in order.
You skipped 9.
9 is not a prime number.
No, true.
It's not. That's a whole other conversation. That tickles a
I
funny brain.
yeah, I know. And my brain just went odd, not prime for some
Right.
reason when you said that.
TLDR, Final Fantasy 14 made you figure out what your prime numbers were. We're not going to go into that dungeon right now, though.
I think without paying too much attention to it, Entry just notes that out loud and says that woodpecker is communicating prime numbers in order. Do they typically do that?
No.
Out of curiosity, and this Harken would turn to Entry, would they be coincide with letters? Like ABC 1, 2, 3, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, kind of like that?
CE.
In repeating patterns of 26, possibly, if we want to do the mathematical calculation involved in repetitions of 26, then finding where that overlaps with the position of each prime number and seeing if that does anything. And I think that Entry can do that sort of thing instantaneously. So would. Danny can't do that instantaneously.
I was
It
not
might take a
aware.
beat for me to give that to us because I gotta see where the 26s overlay on the prime numbers.
This is
Right.
where I hit up Google because
How
I'm
many
like,
prime numbers deep are we now, sir?
Last one was on 11, so that's 5 in.
5 in. Okay.
2, 3, 5, 7, 11.
2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, and 29.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll see if maybe you can break like this little bird's pattern by just kind of offering my finger out to see if it wants a perch to be brought in.
Yeah, it once it is mentioned that it is doing prime numbers, it stops doing prime numbers and hops up onto your finger quite happily.
Is there somewhere you want to go?
It hops a couple of times.
Does it point in any particular direction? Like
yeah, if you let it tries to fly out of the building. Following it, we'll begin the mission phase. So before that, we will do the downtime phase. The list of downtime actions again is we got make a connection with another character, giving them links, help a friend recover to help someone recover from harm, work on a long-term project to start or continue a clock towards a goal that you choose, like, for instance, making a library. Investigation, in which you could investigate the woodpecker or anything else you like. You can relax in the lounge to gain 2 experience points in your moon stat, or train in the practice room for 2 experience to sun. Well, who would like to begin?
So, trying to figure out how to say this. My espionage that you and I discussed is technically like takes up some of the space here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if it takes up one or both actions?
Depends on how many times you want to do the clocks.
Copy. So I flavored the espionage as though it involved all 3, but I think if I'm reading this correctly, it's just one at a time. So if I want 2, then I have to do both actions there. But I do have spillover from no sleep that lets me add 2 ticks to a long-term project.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm reading that correctly, I think those 2 ticks that get added can go toward the library, and then
Okay.
both actions actually go toward the espionage.
Okay.
And then that means essentially for you all that the mysterious packages in your rooms, I guess at a flavor level, you tell me, Sarah, like at a story level, all 3 of you can look at them. only two of you will have stuff happen in relation to that.
I mean, I'd look, but I don't know who we would want to be the people who would have the effects of whatever this is.
It's a good question. Sorry, Danny's not trying to be cagey, but entry is fully being, so in honor of that.
Mysterious packages. Who would like to open?
I don't think this would phase Harken too much because Entry has brought mysterious things before, and it's just like, okay, so something normal besides the weird tension that's probably just in Harken's head, and he opens the package.
The package is a framed photograph of the four of us.
Oh.
Huh.
Is it 4 of us or 5 of us?
5 of us. It is the 5 of us. Although, actually, that's a great point. This photo was extremely recent. It was taken after the unification of Perdita and Fuguea. So it does show, thank you for that, Fran. It does show the 5 of us. And it is in the area that, like, it was taken in the area where Entry is expanding this library to fit for everybody.
Just realized, was this photo taken with our knowledge?
I don't think so. Like, I don't think he actually. I don't think they actually did anything to note to you all that it was happening. I think they just subtly positioned all of you into like a direct, like facing in the same direction while doing other things, and got you to look in that direction, and then the photo just happened, right? Did not ask any of you if it was okay.
That's great.
I think Harken would just kind of look at it and say, this is really sweet. A little eerie, but sweet. Thank you.
Entry is nowhere in the room. Like, Entry did not. You found it separate from. There's no note of or anything from who it's. I mean, it seems pretty obvious, right? But Entry did not lay claim to anything with regard to it.
Again, I feel like Harken is used to like the most random things popping up, and it's just like he's learned to put 2 to 2 together and say, this was Entry. And I think he kind of looks at it and it's like, huh. Like, well, I'll put this in my room later. I don't think we've have too many photos together, at least normal. And he does that like normal photos.
I think Fuguea is the one who speaks after seeing this, and she would just say, I think this is our first photo together. You see, we look really good.
We do. It's really pretty. I love the framing.
One awkward family, but hey, we're making it work.
There's 2 more packages to open. Who would like to open theirs?
I will.
What do you think? What do you think Perdita and Fuguea, if they have had a chance to since coming back, and if not, possibly before the reunification, would have favored in terms of musical instruments in a way that Entry would notice?
I think they are kind of. I was thinking because Perdita favors violin when she's performing alone, but when they got together now, I think it will either be a cello or a harp. Your choice.
I think what you find when you enter your room is a massive handcrafted and hand-strung harp that was clearly built for 2 folks to be able to play together, right? very intricately crafted, with exactly the kind of detailed design that would match perfectly with Perdita and Fuguea's favored outfits since reunifying, right? So whatever they like to wear and whatever that says about their taste is reflected very clearly in the design of this giant harp. Again, no note and nothing indicating who it's from. It's just there, with enough seating comfortably for two people with the posture that you would need to be able to play this well, to be able to.
I'm kind of
Also,
ending this a little bit. I imagine this is somehow like a shaped in a curve, like a S shaped, so that they could like literally sit back to back and play it comfortably that way.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely. Yeah. This is an instrument that only Perdita and Fuguea could ever play, really.
I think. Oh, sorry.
Then,
Go ahead.
No, you first.
No, I think this might happen afterwards.
I mean, I know there wouldn't be any effect, but I would also open up my package.
So what we could decide collectively also where we want the effect to be. So your package is a giant, incredibly comfortable pillow and a, like, those things that you can wear that like are a weighted blanket, that hand stitched. What is Lobi's favorite color?
She loves a light blue, like a
Right.
sky blue.
Fully sky blue, both of these things, and it just of a texture like using a tela fabric that Lobi might be known to have preferred, might have mentioned at an offhand point, reminds her of her childhood or otherwise is preferred by her. Clear message here is you deserve rest, right? Again, no note, no context, just there. The thing you wear, you can actually wear around the space. So you don't.
Oh no, you'll see her wearing it immediately out.
The pillow is like body pillow sized. So you can use it. You could bring it with you. It's a whole. You could lay on it probably on the floor. It's quite large. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. My roommate has one.
Yeah. So mechanically, this is safe distance. You can make a connection. Yeah, I can make a connection now. And help a friend recover by leaving anonymous gifts. When you do take +1 die, if you watch them receive the gift, you can ask their player one question from their gather info list. I'll say two things to that. One is, given Entry's unusual nature, I would love to, if this is okay, Sarah, imagine that Entry can be monitoring this without being seen and without making it a thing.
Sure.
Two is, I don't know if anybody actually needs to recover. So if anybody needs to recover, we might want to favor that mechanically in terms of those two. But otherwise, I'd just love to have a couple rolls and see if I could ask people a couple of questions.
I do need to recover.
I was about to say, I think it's only Perdita.
Perfect.
I think since you are monitoring this, this makes what I was gonna do easier, because I think Perdita understands Entry in a way that maybe is a little bit more than the others. In that, like his strange way actually makes perfect sense to Perdita. So kind of knowing that they are probably monitoring this, Perdita and Fuguea will immediately just sit at this harp and start playing and performing, knowing that there will be at least an audience of one. And as a saying thank you to this thing. Like, who else would have gotten this here? And this is, I think, will, like, I'm gonna come back to this when I do my downtime, because that will be part of it.
I love that. All right. So this is actually my first time making a connection. So what do I roll for making a connection?
What do you think?
I would, again, because flow I think is their baseline, and they are doing this in a very indirect fashion. I would love for it to be a flow roll. If it's okay, I get a plus one dice on that. So if
Mhm.
that seems credible, I would do two. Otherwise, I will say actually conceal also works. Math is the same, right? It's still two because I have a one in conceal.
All
Uh,
right.
and I think I can ask a question. Let
Mm-hmm.
me see. Oh, that's a one and a two. That's terrible. Well, new at this, right?
First time.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do I still get to ask a question with a roll like that?
you
Says
sure do.
okay. I can ask a player one question from their gather info list, which is in front of me. So let me see. Um, what are you really feeling? And it's a sense of the way I think this would manifest is as the two of you are playing Perdita and Fuguea, um, you would feel the curiosity in
Mhm.
your mind, right, from someone who you recognize is not you, wanting to touch to better understand what it is that you're feeling.
There is a pang of an enjoyable uncertainty, which you can sense that it is different from before. Perdita used to reject all uncertainty. She wants to know that she is in the right place. She wants to know she is symmetrical, balanced. And now she is feeling unsure. She is, for the first time, willing to embrace that uncertainty and allow the other half of her whole to perhaps make choices that she might not willingly or like by first instinct make. And it scares her, but it is a positive kind of fear.
Think what they may feel back, two of them, is that curiosity turning into confusion and something approaching concern. It's a little hard to tell if it's exactly concern. It's like if you imagine what it might feel like for someone to try to push through confusion and put things
Mm.
together to reach concern. That's maybe a bit more of what it feels like. You can feel someone trying, right? Trying to understand. Um, question Sarah. Since the
Yeah.
other two fine folks here do not need to recover, but I did give them these gifts. I'm still happy to spend my second action on that. We did
Mm-hmm.
go through the whole thing. Would it be possible, since I'm losing half of the action to not giving a thing, could I ask each of them a question?
Go for it.
Love it. All right. So I'm actually going to go to Lobi next, and then we'll come back around to Harken. So let me get Lobi's questions up. Lobi, as you see these items of comfort and rest in front of you, you feel in your mind a yearning to understand how someone can help you.
Hmm. I think kind of the first instant reaction you get from her is just the very quick, I don't need help. Um, that is kind of the go to response so much that it's built into her subconscious. It's just what she inherently believes. And I don't know if it's conscious at all. Hmm. But I think kind of a deeper thought you get that she's probably not aware of is more this idea of make me feel like I won't lose anyone. Like I'm not it's a need for security in her personal relationships.
So I think to the first part, she feels, again, confusion that coalesces into something that is trying to find a way to be an emotion that is still largely analytical, that she would recognize as not judgmentally, but disappointment. Uh, to the second part, she feels a quiet, entirely unconfused acknowledgement that betrays a sense of understanding. There is an immediate recognition of the need for security and to understand that loss can be averted. Harken. Uh, what are you really feeling?
I think Harken's trying to come to terms with everything that's been going on. The fact that he transcended but can't anymore for whatever reason. He's been trying to work that out, and it's just like, what am I doing wrong? He's happy that Perdita and Fuguea have reconnected, and it's just like they're becoming one, like with themselves. They're seeing them interact and just be happy with one another. But there's also some jealousy with that, because there's also that discontentness with his own family.
Mm.
And I think just kind of in a way, like with Lobi, like they noticed this, like them trying to be a service to everyone. They're now trying to figure out where do they fit in this ragtag group of this ragtag group that was put together.
Harken, you feel in your mind another sort of twofold reaction like Lobi did. The first, when moving through that happiness into jealousy, is a confusion, again, that tries to coalesce into a feeling that lands in a place that is more analytical than felt. That, if it is akin to any feeling, is akin to sadness. Past that, you see a recognition as well from an analytical standpoint, but an understanding of wanting to understand one's place among others, wanting to understand one's place more broadly, wanting to understand the purpose of one's life. And to whatever extent this is possible at this point, something that you suspect might be like a sense of kinship.
So you rolled for the first roll was the help a friend recover. I assume.
Yeah, it was. So that was the 1 and the 2, the most spectacular rolls of my.
So that's 2 segments marked on Perdita's recovery clock.
That's all I need.
And then
That's
you
all I
wanted
need.
to do brilliant.
Work.
And then you wanted to make a connection with the other.
Yeah. With the other, I think since we ended on Harken, and since Harken wasn't with us in what we just experienced, I think maybe it makes sense for the connection to be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
because as a way to acknowledge, like, making sure Harken feels a part of it. You know, um, I don't know what kind of connection that means, though, right? Like, I don't know how we would flavor that, because again, I've never made a connection before, so I don't know what that. I don't know what we do. Is that create a link now?
It creates links determined by your role.
Beautiful, love it. So there, I think again, it's going to be the two d6, and you know what? I can push myself on this, right?
If you want.
Cool. I'll take two.
I don't know if the answer is truly yes, but I'll say sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That is a 1, a 4, and a 3. So that's 4. That's a 4 for the connection. Then.
All right, that is 3 links.
Okay. And I think do we want to go with kinship, given where that landed? We want to call the link kinship, and then we get 3 dots in that, right? Or is it 3 separate links?
It's 3 separate links.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. So I think kinship with Harken. I think we'll go with sadness for Harken. And I think, although this goes back to stuff from before this particular moment, if we all buy this, I think it's established already. Harken's importance. Is that okay? Okay. And I get what, 1 dot in each of those? Is that how that goes?
Yeah, I think they just a link is a link, as far as I know.
Gotta be noticed because there's a bunch of boxes next to it, so I think some links can be stronger than others. Maybe I'm reading that wrong.
All right. And you are also working on the library.
Yeah, I got 2 ticks on the library off of just the no sleep part. Okay. Entry doesn't sleep, so Entry gets a little bit more downtime stuff, and it's just 2 ticks to distribute among any long-term project clock. And then whenever a project is completed by them, or that they're involved with is completed, they mark XP.
All right, 2 ticks towards creating a library. All right, who would like to go next?
I can go. I'm gonna do it quick because flashing back to the musical performance, and between the songs and the music, she doesn't look towards any specific direction rather than, I think you notice in Perdita and Fuguea's quarters at the academy, the mirror that used to be covered by this cloth is now uncovered. And I think Perdita is going to be the one who kind of tentatively and a little cautiously look into the mirror. And in her head says, this used to be the source of my greatest fear. And I don't know if you can hear me between all of these noises, but I think we are changing. And you are changing too, I can tell. Even if we can't explain, and this I think we have in common. Maybe we can help each other in different ways, rather than a goal of mutual destruction. Maybe, like the tarot card, death is not necessarily an end, but a turning point. Maybe there is a reason that you asked me if anyone would be able to put an end to what you are and what you are put into this world to do. I think I can still do it, but in a different way with a different instrument. Anyway, thanks for this. And my attempt is to make a connection with Entry.
Lovely.
I think I am going to do confess.
Okay.
I have uh, perfect pitch. Your voice is polyphonic and you're beautiful. Your allies can always hear you speak. So I have +1 die to this, and also going to push myself and roll 3 die total for this.
Okay.
And third one, 4.
All right. That is 3 links given.
All right.
Do you think? I do think you feel in your mind relief, like a setting down of a weight, uh, like a physical
Mhm.
relief, and um, something approaching gratitude, something that is trying to constitute itself into what could be recognized as gratitude. That still takes a lot of
Mhm.
effort and is, generally speaking, built on logical
Yeah.
construction.
I think in as a continuation, you will also hear we are half-formed things, like a chunk of clay trying to be molded into shape, a living wish, and someone who was used to be considered deformed, and is learning to accept themselves as not broken, but unique and beautiful and whole, and in need of each other and in need of others outside of themselves. So, if you approach it with numbers, I shall approach it with music. And those two things, if you really think about it, are one and the same. Um, yeah, that's my first downtime. My second downtime, I think uh, the two of them are going to do a long term project in the form of writing a uh, song together, yeah, writing a new song, which they have never done before. They used to perform together, but they were always performing stuff that other people has forced upon them or given them as a script. So for the first time, I think they're going to create their own tune. And this is a flavor in which I am attempting to create a link with myself.
Ooh. Ooh. I love that.
And I think perhaps this would be a empathize or forgive. Maybe forgive.
Forgive sounds good to me.
Okay. That is going to be another 4.
All right. 3 links with yourself,
Okay.
your other self.
Excellent. And then last but not least, after she has done this, she is going to, both of them, they are going to go seek out um, Kella.
Yeah, Kella is no longer in the infirmary. Happily,
Mhm.
she is returned to student life. She's not. She used to be kind of bright and bubbly, but now she's more
Mhm.
reserved.
She is going to walk to Killa and say, Killa, I'd like to introduce you to someone.
Oh, of course. How can I? Who would you like me to meet?
I'd like you to meet me. When we first met, Kella, you had a secret. You were holding on to a lot of weight, and I was too. I was just simply a better liar to everyone else at this school and to myself, to ourselves. I've been hiding her away from everyone, including myself. And that's right, she has been hiding me. And you can tell it's wrong because I am the pretty one. she she might be, but she is in fact the funny one, perhaps. We are here because I think it is time for me to be honest and for you to see that I am just as fucked up as you are, and I am just constantly in the process of finding myself again and trying to find the next step and where to take it. So, you're doing all right.
I am.
Can you help us? I think we can use a friend who understands what's going on, going through similar things.
Well, I'll help you any way I can.
And I think above table, this is a tactic, by asking her for help. Hopefully, Perdita's thought is, if she is thinking that she is a contributing member of this school, she will snap a little bit quicker into like out of depression.
Mm-hmm.
Works on me anyway. Um, I think this would be maybe confess.
Yeah, I think you have made it as a confession. It makes
I'm gonna
sense.
push myself again and roll 3 total.
Okay.
And that is going to be a 6.
4 segments marked on the rehabilitating Kella track, which takes it to
Yes.
completion. Marking that. Okay.
And that's all I want to do.
Yes. Wonderful. Yeah, you see immediate change in Kella when she is given a something to aim for, something to contribute to. Wonderful. All right, we've got more downtime actions to go. Who's next?
I can go next.
All right.
Lobi is on a warpath with a tray of fresh cookies headed towards the teacher's lounge to investigate, to figure out where is this Dr. Leontes? Where did he come from? What are his intentions? This man should not be near the students. Who let this happen?
All right. Sounds like an investigation roll to me.
And I think she'd also investigate using the path of noticing that the flowers weren't as fresh and that both Leontes and that the gardener, she both had connections to Perdita, to maybe also see why uh, she's been out for a few days. You mentioned.
Yeah, the person who refreshes the flowers has
Yes.
been out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Give me an investigation roll.
Okay, I will push myself to get and I think either one of those could work. And I think I get that is later. Ooh,
Oh dear.
my dice fell. It's okay. I have more. Oh. That is a 3.
A 3 gives you 1 single question from your
Well,
sheet.
I get one free one.
Oh, even better.
I didn't get to use this the first few episodes, but I can always ask who here is hurting. So I will start off with that one.
Who here is hurting? Oh, goodness. So regarding Leontes, no one recognizes the name, but when you show an image of him, it's immediately recognized. Apparently, he was known as Jacoby to the staff when he was working here. Which one is his real name is a mystery, if either. But he, in their opinion, he left a trail of harmed students behind him. He had a way of encouraging sometimes the worst things about students in order to get them to follow a path that he wanted to follow. And they are the teachers that are gratefully accepting your baked goods. None of them have a good opinion of this man. And they say that he was kicked out after an affair with a young man, and when they mentioned the name of the man, whose name I have forgotten, no, Carpintero. They mentioned the student's name is Carpintero, and you may recognize that as the person who created Entry.
Okay. I was going to ask if that was someone that Lobi would know, but yes, okay. Then I think kind of following up to see, since it does seem like he's been back more recently, not just out of their own experience, but it seems like there were other more recent run-ins with him.
Mm-hmm.
I think following the trail of the kind of student he looks for, my next question would be, who will my foes try to single out? Trying to see who might be a target for her to catch him before he continues affecting the student population.
Yeah. Okay, this is a challenging one. So what you get from your investigations is his interest in the school. Other than the time he came to find you, he hasn't been back.
Okay.
So it seems like he might have moved on to a different plot or a different hunting ground. So you think that the students are at least safe at the moment from his machinations, which unfortunately does not give you a bait. When he was with you, thinking back, you recognize that he spoke the most with Entry. He seemed interested in conversation with Entry, and even when Entry blatantly spoke down to him, he continued to interact. So maybe there's something there.
Yeah. And now knowing that he had all these interactions with Carpintero,
Mm-hmm.
I think she might continue on having that momentum, might go on. Could I do a second investigation to continue looking into maybe I would she know the story of how this person disappeared and kind of the rough
Yeah, it was all over the
knowledge of
school at the
that?
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trying to think if there would be anything for her to look into further on that of what could have happened to him, that kind of thing. Okay, so I feel like I have something on the tip of my tongue, but I will. But I do think she would continue her investigation, trying to see if she could figure out if maybe he had also approached Harken's brother. Having received also that series of family journals and things of his brothers that they used for a different investigation a couple episodes back.
Right. Okay. You can make an investigation roll for that, for sure.
That's 6.
6, that's 2 questions and 1 follow-up.
Okay. Goodness me, goodness my. It's strange because a lot of mine are like general information gathering answers
Mm-hmm.
instead of like really honing down. Um, I feel like, is it possible to ask how can I help Harkin's brother?
How can I help Harken's brother?
By looking at these journals, seeing if
You can ask that.
mhm.
That'll work. Um, okay, so how to help Harken's brother? Who? There's obviously reading through the journals something deeply troubling that man. Um, he avoids talking about feelings in ways other than uh, dismissive ones. He's obviously uh, doing a lot of repression. Um,
Lobi
so
doesn't know anything about that.
something is wearing on him, and he also doesn't talk about Harken much. He When he does, it's like always like short sentences with very little emotional content. And that also feels like avoidance to you. It feels like there are things that he doesn't want to think about, that doesn't want to embrace or engage with in any way. And his solution is just to not talk about them, to not deal with them, because he doesn't know what else to do. So, how to help? Find some way to open him up. You got another question and a follow up.
Who here is willing to do? No. Gosh, I'm trying to decide. I've been trying to decide between what is most dangerous here and who here is willing to do violence because I don't know if other people. I guess it would depend if other people are spoken about. If there's enough about other people spoken about in his journals. and in the things I find in general about Harken's brother and if he was contacted by Dr. Leontes. I think what is most dangerous here is what I'll stick with.
Okay. Partially from reviewing his notes, partially from talking with faculty members, you think that Leontes did have some contact with him, but not a lot. Like, not as much as a lot of the other students that you're being told about. There's harm coming down the line because you can't bottle stuff up like that and be magically powerful and not have an explosion.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with Leontes visiting him is not that he was influencing him or anything like that. It's simply that Leontes was a man who brought out the worst in people to serve an agenda and encouraged that repression, encouraged that bottling up, that ignoring anything that would hurt.
As my follow-up, looking through especially towards the more recent stuff, if I can find it at all, what seemed to be his solution? Because he seemed to be trying to go to something. What did it seem like he thought was the way to, like, was there anything he thought could resolve his issues that he was trying to work towards?
Yes, he put it all into the search for the sword of truth. He made it, it was something that had to be done for, saving the world purposes, but it was also clearly an obsession with his, where it would give him something that he cherished or coveted. He felt that would come from that sword.
Okay.
All right.
Those are my two.
That just leaves Harken.
How much time left do we have on the library?
There are 2 tracks filled out of 5.
I think he would be helping get that build up because the more information we know about everything that's going on, the better. But I want to put a spin on this. I want to see if he can get access to files that most students wouldn't be able to get a hold of. Information that would, all intents and purposes, be above him.
Mm-hmm.
But he is trying to talk to his dad more and maybe, just maybe, hey, Dad, these will help me in my studies. And also, kind of get us talking more.
Okay.
And I think, let's see. I feel like it would be empathize with this.
Yeah, you've made a case for that, I think.
And because I have a dot in that, do I roll 1 or 2?
Just 1.
All right. Let's see. And that's a 6.
A 6. All right. That is 4 segments marked, which will build the library. The library is complete. You now have access to it.
And I think he would spend his next downtime action doing that, researching, building information, just what has happened? What are things that we are not told?
Okay. Do you want to do that as a investigation roll, or do you want to do that as a spending time in the library to add 2 XP 2 stars?
Let's do investigation. Like, let's dig a little
Alrighty.
deeper. And let's see if it's investigation. This is going to be analyzed, which I don't have nothing in.
All right, roll 2, take the lower.
They're both 5s.
Oh, nice.
Hey.
We can work with that.
Yeah, that gives you a question and a follow-up.
I think if he's able to access the lost files or hidden files or anything like that, I think the biggest question would be, what happened? What caused all this? What is the end of the world, so to speak? Why are we all here, essentially?
Yeah, that is a big one. It's a big question. So I'm going to try to give you a big answer. Long ago, the world was at peace. Or, if not peace, at least not under constant danger from invading nightmares. There was magic back then, you learn, a power that a few gifted people could utilize by harnessing their desires for certain outcomes. But for centuries, that was the extent of it. Just a few people who could do a few special things. And then something shifted. There are a lot of hypotheses about what exactly happened. There's more than you can go into in these files, but access to magical power grew slowly and then faster and then faster. And by the time everyone had access to basic wishcraft, it only took 4 days until the day everyone's wish came true. And you see that in all capitals. It's believed that on that day, the access to magic reached a point where every wish, every deeply longed for desire tried to be fulfilled at once. So many fantasies, so many suppressed desires and truths, so much bottled emotion released and made reality all at once. It was a world-changing event. It was one that few people survived. Only the city was spared, as the Maleks, wherever they came from, created a magical barrier that they called the Firmament and kept the changes and most of the excess magic out. But that wasn't all they had to do, as you find out, because magically sensitive people were still being born. So the Maleks found those people, brought them together, bonded with them, and through the bond kept their magic active but restrained, only able to act in certain ways. So they couldn't just wish. And in this way, of course, they also created teams that could face down whatever attempted to come through the barrier. But life has not ended outside the firmament. It's just changed, evolved, and it's patient. It's inexorable, and it's just a matter of time before it finds its way in and reality is whole again. And that is what everyone is afraid of. That is what you find in the hidden files.
And I think the follow-up to that would be, what do they mean by whole again? Like, my brain goes to Kingdom Hearts immediately. I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real or not?
Yeah, there's no agreement on that. What there is agreement on is that there is a separation, and the world outside has changed, and the world inside the barrier, the city, has stayed the same, has been static. And so it's, to whatever is outside, it must look like a wound, even in the world, cut off from the rest of everything.
I wish I had another question to ask, but I don't. So we will leave that for next time.
All right. Well, I think that's everyone's downtime. So that ends our downtime phase and moves us to the mission phase. Eventually, the woodpecker encourages you to follow it. It leads you on a journey out of the clock tower, out of the academy, into some of the shadier areas of the great city. And finally, you reach a vaguely decrepit building. Its design indicates it probably doesn't go deeper than 1 or 2 floors down. It's got a rusted metal door that the woodpecker flutters down to stand next to. And we start, as always, with the engagement roll, which determines how the situation will be when we jump into the action. You have 1 die as the base of the roll. Your investigation gives you another die. That gives you 2 dice to roll for engagement. Who would like to roll?
Blackwell, do you want to, since you weren't here last episode?
Sure. We can see what happens. And do we take the highest or the lowest of the 2?
Highest.
So I got a 5 and a 6.
Oh,
We've been so good on these engagement rolls.
Yeah, it's
love
amazing.
it.
It's the he him princess dice.
I love it. All right. We cut to the action. Things are going well with that roll. You've investigated the first 2 floors of this building, disarming diabolical traps as you went. They were full of crackling electricity, glowing glass bulbs, tubes of fluid going into mysterious beakers, all sorts of fascinating stuff like that. And enough clues to confirm that this is the laboratory of Professor Leontes, and that he was performing experiments of a highly illegal nature. You have followed your woodpecker guide down to the 3rd and final floor, which is comfortably furnished as a living space. There's a bedroom, a small kitchen, a bathroom, a living room, and a parlor. And it is to the parlor that the bird flutters, to a desk where it alights and begins pecking at the wood with a ferocity you've yet to see from the bird. What do?
I'll go over and try and see if there's a drawer.
There is a drawer directly underneath it. It has a lock.
Does it seem magical in any way? Like it could maybe go off or is rigged? Just knowing that we just went through so many traps and
You have been disarming a lot of traps
Mhm.
here. It would be honestly weird if it wasn't trapped at this point.
What?
Like my brain's just like, you would think it's weird if it's not trapped at this point, and it's like, that's
Yeah.
trauma.
Yep.
In the span of the last half an hour, just so many traps went off, and she's like, "Okay, we have to we have to go about this carefully." And is going to see if there's maybe any other way that could signal to disarm or to open it. Maybe like a key or some kind of uh, button or pad, like on the surface or sides of the desk.
You don't see any keys about, and there are no buttons immediately visible. You could make a roll.
Yeah, I think I will.
Can I assist?
You sure can.
Great, thank you. It doesn't want me to do well. I rolled a 1 and a 1.
No.
It happens. It happens. So you got one question to ask about this probably trapped cabinet drawer. Rather.
That I can ask not just from my list of questions, correct?
You feel free to branch out.
I guess branching out from the what is most dangerous here. I guess it's kind of like a where is the source of this coming from, to see if I can't find a way to naturally disarm it, to find a way to just nullify it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you managed to find a connection on the back of the desk, connected to a glowing tube, and removing it makes a crackling noise and disarms what was going to be a nasty zap.
Mm-hmm. Lobi turns back to the group. Always check for traps so that I don't have to run in between you and a glowing wall. She sets the tube down somewhere else.
Entry appears next to you, Lobi, and says, I believe I did learn, if that gives you any comfort. Otherwise, I would have simply stuck my hand through into there to reach.
That's why I walked in first to do this.
Does it give you comfort to know that I have learned?
Oh, absolutely.
Good. Yes.
It seems like things that have more of a magical, mystical nature don't allow you to use your normal abilities the same way, it seems.
That is interesting. Quite possible that wishes interact with wishes differently than how wishes interact with the rest of what exists.
That makes sense.
It would be good to study this and perhaps add what we learn to an archive in our new library so that we and others may benefit from this knowledge moving forward.
True.
Would you like to author that?
Sure, I can start a journal.
Wonderful. I would love to collaborate with you. Is that a proper use of the word love? Love is
Yes.
love appropriate
Yes.
there?
Mm-hmm.
My interest is in collaborating with you.
Yes. If you have a high amount of interest, you would a high amount of want or to like to do something, you can use love in that sense.
How is love different than like or want?
It's stronger.
On the
More.
same spectrum? Want and light.
In
Want
this
and light
sense,
The
and love are
frequency that
all-
you are running your energy upon it will be higher for love.
It is a question of intensity.
in this sense, yes. But love also has many different forms in which it comes in.
That is confusing. I do not like the confusing nature of it, and pops out of the room.
Mm-hmm. Is about to say something about linguistics and just it might be a language thing, and in this language we're speaking, it's not very good at describing it, but others are better. Before opening up the desk drawer.
All right. You open the drawer. It has a lot of assorted junk in it. Some papers, some that are mostly scribbled notes about communications and things like that. Um, Random bits and bobs, and a looks like basically like a glowing jar, which is what the woodpecker goes to immediately and starts trying to break with its beak.
I can open it. I can open it. And goes to open the jar. Or can we just see what's in it? Is it transparent or is it
It is transparent, and
okay?
it looks like it just has glow, just
Okay,
glow in
maybe
it.
we don't
That's
break
it.
this yet. There's a jar of glow in here.
Glow.
Just shows it,
Can I see it?
of course.
Gonna kind of like put it next to their ears and listen, shake it and listen.
When you listen, you hear what do you hear? You hear a chirpy little voice, not really saying anything specific, more just sort of tra-la-lying.
I'm gonna very carefully open it.
You carefully open the jar. When the lid pops off, the glow resolves itself into motes of light that rise out, and the motes start filling the room. And as they start to spread out, the woodpecker jumps at them and flaps around and starts collecting them all.
Is there any way to kind of form a connection with the woodpecker to understand like how this is interacting?
Um, you can. It's before you need to. However, um, the bird starts talking. The bird says, "Oi, that was lovely. Thank you all. I needed that."
Hi.
What can we call you?
You can call me. Shit, Sarah hasn't thought of a name for this damn woodpecker yet. No,
Is that a given name? Is that a family name? Yeah.
That was so real. Just like I haven't come up with the name of Twinkie at one moment.
Oh,
Well, wait,
You
I
had to have
felt
known that
so
would have been the
prepared.
first question. The
I will-
first question after it started talking would
I
have
will
I'm
been,
gonna call this bird Pearl. My name's Pearl.
hi.
Pearl.
Are are we getting the kind of sense that it could be a Moloch now? Like, are we feeling that magical signature now that
Yes,
it's
yes,
consumed the motes?
that's definitely rising from it now.
I think entry reconstitutes in the room, and looks at the Moloch and says, "Hello.
Ooh, hello.
Do,
Where did you come from?"
Oh, well, none of us know where we come from, really. But I've been here. I was trapped here for a while. I escaped, and that nasty man trapped my voice and my power so that I couldn't help my bonded.
Red and black patterning.
Mm-hmm.
You were bonded to Francis. Is that correct?
You?
I am what killed him.
Larks. Well, I'm why he was able to be killed. Because they. I'm supposed to do my job to keep you all from. Well, we all are supposed to keep you all from doing too much. It's dangerous to do too much. He did too much because I wasn't there to stop him.
What do you mean doing too
Did you-
much?
Wishes. You can't do it. If you try, we stop you. But Leontes, well, he was waiting for me one day. Put me in a bag. A bag! Can you believe it?
So rude.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
No, I don't like him either. He took me voice. He took me voice and me power, and I couldn't help my brave little man, and he died.
Is there a reason we are not allowed to do too much?
Yes, it's about the outside, isn't it? It's it lets the outside in.
Why is that bad?
Okay, we don't need to ask why that's bad, Perdita. We know it's
No,
bad
it's
there.
Fuguea. Fuguea is the one.
Oh, okay.
I was,
Still, would ask the
Yes,
same.
yeah.
It was bad. Let's be honest.
Is
We were
it-
there.
is it bad for me to be here? Am I from the outside?
Ooh, I don't know if you're from the outside. You're from you're from my little man. He wished so hard for you.
Were there others before me?
No, I don't know. I was stuck here.
I ask because when I first recall existing, there is much I do not understand, but I understand that the name I have taken here derives from a longer one, a longer one that implies I am not the first. It seems neither of us may know. I do apologize to you that this person who I do not remember, who died when I was made or brought here, or I don't know, meant a lot to you. It does not seem likely to me that a Malik such as you would be able to stop the entry of a creature such as me. Do not blame yourself for an act that you were not responsible for enacting. It seems we all have our limits.
I have been outside. Have you been outside?
I haven't. What's it like?
Well, it's a bit empty and endless, like possibilities, like me. Um, how did you learn that it's bad to be outside, to do too much, to do more than we understand? I'm hoping to do like a persuade or influence or something to like get them to talk about like the origin of this lore of wishing is bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead and give me a roll.
Okay. Um, is this defy or What is this?
Could be
Yeah.
defined.
Okay.
I'd accept that.
Um. Can I use a link with myself to add a role? Is that how you use links? Mm,
It says how you use links on the character sheet,
right.
I believe.
Grant one D to an ally's action. So
Hmm.
yeah, actually, I can spend one link. Like essentially, Perdita will spend one link with Fuguea, for Fuguea's
Hmm.
action of this.
Love it.
That's promising. Ah, six. Or
Mm.
the five and then the six.
All right. Beautiful, beautiful. That gives you 2 questions and a follow
Okay.
up.
Questions. Hey, this is the first time I'm asking any question. um, okay. I think I'm going to ask what here is incomplete.
What is incomplete regarding what you are looking for is the bird doesn't know. The bird does not know why it knows that the outside is bad. It just knows it there it tells you that all of the Maleks have no memory before they came here to save humanity, to save the
Mm-hmm.
city. They it's as though they came into existence at that moment with the knowledge that they had to protect and save you from what was
Mm-hmm.
going on.
Second question. What are you really feeling?
From the bird, you get that it is sad about its former charge, but mostly what it's feeling is guilt that it feels like it failed its mission, that it failed its charge, you know? Uh, it's not it's most of its sadness is not empathy. Most of it is disappointment in
Mm-hmm.
itself.
I think the follow up question is the moment when all of the Molochs came here, they received this mission from a source. What are some information they can share with us regarding the source of this mission?
The woodpecker tells you what name did I give it?
Pearl.
Pearl.
Girl.
Pearl. Pearl tells you that they have had a lot of arguments over the last 50 years about the source of their emergence, creation,
Mm-hmm.
arrival, whatever. Um, and the belief is largely that they are a wish themselves, that they are a wish for protection.
So we are living in a reality where a snake is eating its own tail. And this, I think Fuguea is conversing with the bird. This is something Perdita kind of whispers towards Entry. Not really sure if Entry understands metaphors like that, but that's what the first thing she thought of.
Ouroboros, and pulls information from research. So while not intuitively necessarily following the metaphor, is able to follow it from what they've picked
Mm-hmm.
up. This emphasizes my concern that I may lead to the destruction of this place. As I am a wish, and now it seems this little one here, Pearl, you are a wish too?
That's what we think.
Do you feel, Pearl?
I feel some things. We don't really feel as much as most folk do, but we've got little affections and little desires.
Did you always, as far back as you can remember?
Yeah, as far back as when we started here, when we built the firmament and bonded with you all.
I'm going to transcend and turn into the transcended form that is difficult for anyone to hold clearly in their minds beyond seeing it as a reflection of their own deepest desire, their heart's greatest wish, and look upon this tiny feathered wish in front of me and seek through a flow state to connect with it. I'd like to do an investigate, and I'd like to push myself. So I'm actually going to be, if that's all okay, rolling 1, 2, 4 d6.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I could help anymore. It's already so many d6. If it would even,
Yeah, go
but I
for it.
would in terms of trying to bond with this creature. I think try and help.
Yeah, I'll take a 56. I don't have a problem
Hmm.
with that. If that's okay. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, I don't think that entry would, especially where things are right now, in any way try to like box anybody out. Do you know what I mean? Like if
Mhm.
anybody wanted to help or do anything or whatever. So, all right, it's gonna be funny. This is like 5 ones, right? It's a
Breaks the
6.
math.
It's
Amazing.
obviously a 6. It was a 2, a 5, a 4, a 3, and a 6 though.
Oh
So
wow.
everything but a 1 because of everything because I called it the other way. All right, so yeah, it's a 6.
That is 2 questions and a follow-up.
Um, so the first question, which I'd like to take as a more specifically flavored version of what is hidden here,
Mm-hmm.
is do you can you share with us your very first memory?
You see in your mind, all of you, a sudden blink into a home. There are people hiding in a back room, and they they're crying, and they keep saying, "We didn't want this," over and over. And the little bird pops up to them and says, "We're here now. We're going to protect you." and then it flies out a window and joins its brethren as they begin to divest themselves of the power within themselves to create this massive barrier.
Is it possible for me to ask the second general question before I decide which one to do a follow-up on?
Yes.
Love it. This is done in a manner that everyone can access, if that's okay. Like, entry doesn't mean to cut off the group from it at all.
Mm-hmm.
As a living wish to another, what might happen if I learn to want and feel enough to have a wish myself? What happens when a wish wishes?
The bird is quiet for a minute. And then you're tapped into its mind, flowing with it. And it's of two minds. It knows that it is restricted, that it cannot wish. It doesn't know if that restriction is because it's dangerous or if it's because of something else, whether it's because it's simply concealed, perhaps they're not worthy of it, etc. It has 1,000 different other explanations that it prefers.
This is kind of a follow-up to both. What is the purpose of a wish?
Purpose of a wish, I've come to think, is to exist. There's something about wishes, something that it wants to be. People can't avoid it. You just live in and up crops a wish. It's how people are made. And it's almost as though it's almost like wishes make themselves out of us.
There's an interesting theory. This is role play. This is not a mechanical part of this. Do you consider yourself a person, Pearl?
No, I don't think so.
I did not think I was a person either. The people here with us disagree. I am having trouble proving them wrong.
Well, I figure I'm not a person because I can't break out of my, well, I guess programming, my purpose. My will is set. What about you? Is your will set?
I think this whole time, and we can address this later. I think this whole time, Fuguea and Perdita is just looking more and more distressed. Just hearing this discussion, especially Fuguea.
I do not know. I do not know if I believe it is set, and I do not know if it being set determines my personhood. It is unclear to me if all actions being causally linked are simply an expression of the mathematics of the universe speaking to itself, for lack of a better term. I apologize. Being with them has caused me to communicate with more poetic and less direct language than I am accustomed to. I am attempting to be clear and finding it difficult, perhaps because this is an unclear area to examine. I believe, that's a strange word for me to be using as well. The best evidence I have in front of me is that at a distance, everything seems to be a product of predestination. The free will that individuals seem to experience is a perhaps helpful illusion that allows them or us, if we indeed are people, to function. However, anecdotally, it has been my experience that even accounting for as many variables as I can, life can be surprising. And that does not align with the first idea. I am not sure that you cannot express yourself in a way that is surprising, because perhaps you simply have not been able to yet. I think that if I am a person, which at least seems to be a possibility being discussed, you are a person as well. Or neither of us are. Or it is possible that none of us, including them, are. It is very confusing, and I am finding that that is bringing me closer to an emotion than anything else, because I believe what I am encountering might be considered frustration.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it, honestly.
Perhaps with you now reconstituted and no longer partially in a jar, you could join us in our attempts at understanding this better. Would you be able to stay with us here at the Student Council?
Yeah, until I get bonded with someone else, I got nothing to do, really.
As you were bonded with Francis Carpintero, who left here the day that I came here, and I do not require a Malik. I do not even know that a Malik is capable of doing what you described Maliks do when it comes to me. Would you have any interest in possibly being my Malik?
Well, you already got one. You got Ansible.
I do. I find that I am searching for a way to do something with the memory of Francis Carpintero that honors it in some fashion. I do not believe this would be a formal linking, as I have with Ansible. I believe this would be something more like a gesture, an attempt to understand what can be done to repair what may be irreparable.
Hmm. You think a lot of deep thoughts.
I think many things all at once, all of the time.
Hmm.
It is how I was made. There is no laudability in it. There's no credit to be given. I am a machine that serves a function. That is the function that it serves.
Yeah, glad I wasn't made that way. Sounds rubbish.
I don't. It is interesting to speak about things in terms that are imprecise. I don't think that I mind it if I have some understanding of what minding it might be. I think it is possible. I'm understanding a little bit more, I believe, of what like and want and love might be. I believe I like it.
Hmm. Yeah, good on you, buddy.
Hmm.
Blackwell, you've been quite quiet. What is Harken up to?
Could I actually
I think he's just
talk to Harken? Um, if that's okay.
sure.
So I think Fuguea is going to separate away from Perdita, who is just like wrapped with this conversation that's going on, right? And she's gonna come over to you, Harkin, and just say, "Can I talk to you?" She's not going to understand, not yet, but I think you will.
And I think Harkin has also been wrapped up in this conversation between this bird that now says that it was a wish and seeing entry possibly starting to understand what emotions are, but being asked that moment of "Can I talk to you?" kind of snaps him back into reality and just being like, "Oh yeah, hi, yes, hello,
Hi, we haven't really talked, just us before, but I'm the one with the prickles and the edges and the spices and everything. So and I think I can see more clearly, just like you. You are sort of also a little bit not belonging here. Sorry if that's somewhat offensive, but you and me both, right?
I'm I'm used to it." As he kind of looks over at entry, we have someone here who is
Constantly,
brutally minded.
constantly reminding you how you are lesser and that you don't belong.
I don't know if it's I don't know if they mean to call me lesser. I think it's more reminding me that there's potential, just not in the helpful way.
No,
I'm figuring out what this is, our friendship
you don't have to
still.
sugarcoat it. It's love, but it's still going to make you hurt like hell, and it makes you feel bad, nevertheless. But this is not the point. I think we are in a prison. This place, do you not see? This place is locked down by a wish, reinforced by a wish. It is called a firmament, a heaven on earth, but and you were told to reach your potential, but it's all under control. We're not reaching our potential. The wishes, they are potential.
A dream that's wishing to reconnect to reality. I was doing some research, thanks to my dad. I was able to find out that there's two worlds, maybe? And it's almost like we're a subconscious thought, a living subconscious, but we're here barricaded while things are going on in the expanse. And I wonder if others have learned about this and that's why they have left or went on these adventures or journeys because they found out
I
something.
think your brother escaped, Harken. I think. Do you see it? Because we're not allowed to wish. So we're not allowed to evolve. We're not allowed to pursue those wishes and make them come true ourselves. So we do not change. Because wishes are changes. And
I,
don't we don't change.
I changed. I wished. I always wish. I know we're not supposed to, but
Exactly.
and he kind of looks at himself. Again, he's still trying to figure out this whole transcendence thing. But there is a noticeable change of Harken.
You're changing. He's changing. They are changing. Entry is thinking about personhood. They're evolving. Their wish. They are told that they are going to be the entity that destroys this place because that is dangerous. It is because they are a contradiction.
It's a lie that they were told to dampen them to make sure that they couldn't grow.
Exactly.
Have we all been told things that were untrue?
I have been cut out. I was the one who urges her to feel, to embrace the possibility of pain, because without pain, how are you ever going to grow? And that's how you change. That's how you run after those wishes. That's how you become more and more of a person.
Through pain, love, joy, sadness, just feelings.
Feelings. And then I was told that I should not be allowed to be a person.
And I think he kind of looks at everyone at that point individually. He looks at Entry, who's feeling things, like starting to conceptualize feelings. He looks at Perdita and Fuguea and how they were forced to be split. He looks at Lobi, who they made a promise to want to be more, to take care of each other while taking care of themselves. We need to go back to the expanse, don't we?
I need to get out. It's scary, but I was the most free I have ever felt when I was outside.
What did you see?
Nothing. Nothing. I can see nothing. There is just an endless horizon, and whatever I can imagine there being right there, it's possible. I can build it myself. I can go make it true. I think that's what a wish is.
And he just starts thinking more and more about the things that his family has been involved in. We should go back to the expanse and wish. A small wish. See what happens? It's dangerous, it's reckless.
I wish for a blade of grass to expand itself from a frozen ground.
how close are you having this conversation to the rest of
I
us?
think at first it was kind of quiet because she's still scared. This is dangerous, poisoned thoughts. But the more seemingly Harken responds to this wildness, the more enthusiastic. And Fuguea is not one who is able to control herself as well. I would say Lobi can probably hear the majority of what she said, like towards the later half.
I think you guys being wrapped in this conversation, I don't know if you notice, Lobi just kind of appears there next to you two. What are you two talking about?
We're
We
not
can't go back.
we're not supposed to be living like this.
We're not even living.
A happy life? Living without the consequences of wishes?
Are you truly happy, Lobi? We have responsibilities. We have the things that we were told that is nice and happy. We have accommodation. That's what we have.
And that's
We've
what
been bought silence. We were bought and given silence.
I've gotten given more than most people have worked for in my family, especially after the way wishes kind of affected us. It was weird, but it's not, can't just go around making wishes. You never know what's going to happen.
But what if?
It's safe.
Entry happened.
Yeah.
And I think Lobi is like keeping quiet, like was about to say something about, and look how that turned out for Francis before, but keeps her mouth shut.
Entry materializes and says, it is possible that this reality is held together by what it does not allow. I do not fully understand its nature, possibly because I am subject to the limits of this reality by being within it. Perhaps when I am not, there is more that will be available to me. With what I have been studying, the cryptography that you all have helped me with in the past, that I have not been able to decipher. I have suspected that there is information that was deliberately withheld, although it does not make any sense to me why I would be asked to decipher it and then not given all of the information available. I see a similarity, potentially, in what we are determining here. I do not know if the act of unshackling ourselves from the restraints of this existence is reversible. It is possible that the only way to understand the nature of this existence is from outside of it. And at that point, it may be too late to decide we want to re-enter it. I do not know if my function as the potential destruction of this existence is potentially that unshackling.
I think it is because maybe you were the first. No. If you were the first wish, you would predate all this? But that wouldn't make sense, or unless this whole place that we've been calling home is a wish in itself.
There is a story I read in the research I did which included not only more scientific forms of study, but literature, including literature that was written by not the greatest minds of the literary world in Firmament, but by regular people. This story that I'm thinking of speaks of someone who lived an entire life with their family and one day found themselves noticing a slight aberration in their understanding of their reality. And they had a choice. They could at least attempt to ignore what they saw, or they could pay greater attention to it, understanding already that that would open a door that could not be closed and cause what they knew to unravel, potentially causing them to lose everyone and everything they thought was true through the revelation of what is actually true. Although I suppose that begs the question of the nature of truth. I say all of this to say there is a reasonable risk of whatever we do next not being reversible. Lobi, you care greatly about your family.
Of course.
You may never see them again. It may turn out they do not exist.
We can't make this decision for the entire our world. You can go exploring your own truths, but when we go explore these truths, we don't know what could happen. It could take everything. People live in safety and can find happiness in that. Joy, contentment, a life. We
I don't know
can't
if I want to live in
choose.
a lie anymore.
It's not just about you. It's about everyone.
I want to know if
But
I'm
is it
alive or
our
not as well.
decision to condemn everyone of this not existence?
If my brother went out there to find the truth and he found something, I'm going to find him and find that truth as well.
Entry. Listen. I wish that we will traverse beyond the firmament and we will find a way to the truth, and then we are going to come back and open a door. And because I wish it is true. It is true because I am going to work towards it, and I hope that I don't have to work towards it alone.
Entry in this transcended form typically reflects to you your heart's greatest wish. I suppose this is more up to you than to me or to him or them. Um, but what you see when you look into that now is Entry with you as you enact this wish that you just spoke into existence. Harken, if you look toward Entry, you would see that you are there as well. Lobi, what do you see?
The thing she's always seen whenever Entry transforms is just kind of like a rotating all her friends, the three of you.
Is she there too?
Yeah. But I think it's more just the representation of those that she cares about than anything else.
I think Harken would look at Entry and say, I wish to find my brother. I wish to see what's out there, find what he found, and unshackle us from this false reality. I want to undo whatever it is my family and the people that they've been working with have done. I wish for freedom.
I think in Entry you see yourself wearing your brother's jacket, fitted nicely to you, facing a mirror, not unlike what Perdita and Fuguea had experienced before. And in it, you see your brother wearing the jacket too.
And I think Harkin would nod a little bit and say, he did this too. I'm going to find you. I'm right behind you.
Lobi, on your side, the last thing that I think that Entry would seek to communicate is, as you see your friends with you, Entry holds out a hand in the wish toward the version of you there, offering for you to come along.
I think on that moment, we will pull away from our mission and go to the fallout roll for this episode. So, all right, first we have to advance the Abyss track. We fill in one segment automatically, then one because the adversary's agenda moved forward, one because our student council came way closer to their destiny of revealing hidden truth about the world, and that makes 3. And that means the Abyss track is now in Tier 3, and the consequences of Fallout are therefore in Tier 3 as well. All right. Now for the final roll of this episode, the Fallout roll. For this, I roll as many dice as y'all have reached tiers in the investigation track, which is 2. So, and that is a 6. An important place falls to the Abyss. We fade out from our student council and fade back to a spot that is now familiar to us, the edge of the city where the firmament meets the ground. Its pulsating lavender glow gives an eerie mood everywhere here, but all is quiet until the tear begins. The sound is deafening, more of a cry than a ripping noise, and slowly, the firmament is rent as a tear appears and widens. The noise fades into a strained hum, and 2 men walk out of the tear, both wreathed in whispering shadow. The first, Leontes, holds a glowing device in his hand and wears a smile on his face. He turns to the second and says, I told you it would work. I never doubted it, says Devril Strelitsa. That is true, says the toy sword in his hand. And that is where we end episode 4. Join us next Tuesday for the final episode, wherein the truth will set you free. Thank you very much for joining us, and I hope you have a great week. Bye now.